Hi everyone. To begin today's lesson 4, we will start off with predict the next number in each pattern. So we all know what a pattern is. For example, it can be red, blue, guess the next color. It's something continuous and we're going to continuously see the same thing over and over again. And that is the same thing with math. However, this time we figure out the next pattern, whether it's using addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, anything in general. As but either way, we are going to find the next number of the pattern. So let's try number one together. Very simple one. So obviously we all know one, two, three, four. What's the next one? Five. But how did we get to five? Well, let's think about it. How did we even get one to two? Well, 1 plus 1 is 2, right? So plus 1. Same thing. So how did we get 2 to 3? Same thing, plus 1. And so on. So basically, what does this pattern consist of? Plus 1s. But something a little harder, like number 4. So 10, 15, 20, 25, we're gonna guess the next one. Now, it may seem simple because, the multiplication table of 5 is very simple. But let's say you didn't know it. How would you be able to figure it out? Well, let's think about it. How did we get 10 to 15? Simply plus 5, right? And what about 15 to 20? Plus 5. And 20 to 25? Plus 5. So then now we're going to do another plus 5. So what is 25 plus 5? 30. So that is the next number in the pattern. Moving on. So now we're going to guess which number is greater or less than. So now we're going to be using these symbols. So for those who are not too familiar with it, these symbols tell whether a number is greater or less than. So when you use this one, it's greater than, because remember, when we use these symbols, it's always going to be this number that's said first. So let's say this number was like 2. So now this symbol is going to come in place. And let's say we use 1. Well, we're going to have to say, well, obviously 2 is bigger, so we're going to quote unquote eat 2 and use that symbol. And so how do we say 2 is greater than 1? But let's say that the number is 3. Well, obviously, because 3 is bigger, we're going to eat 3 instead, and we're going to use the opposite sign. So how do we say? Well, 2 is less than 3. You see how I never said 3 is greater than 2? Like I said, the first number that comes up in these inequality questions or equations, you say first. So to make it a little more clear. So like number 1, 22 or 100. So this one is very obvious. Obviously, 100 is a little bigger. But now we're going to practice on how to say this properly. So let's do 22, 100. So obviously we're going to quote unquote eat 100 because it's bigger. So now, like I said, this is going to be first. So how do we say it? 22 is less than 100 because obviously 22 is less than 100. Now let's try one more. Let's try number 4. So it's 20 or 14. Obviously, we know that 20 is bigger than 14, so we're going to eat 20. Now, like I said, once more, we're going to say 20 first because this is the very first thing that comes up. So 20 is greater than 14. So this is just practicing and making sure you know how to say these and use these symbols properly. Now, write the numbers in order from greatest to least. Okay, so we know our numbers. It should be fairly simple. Let's try number 1. So 3, 6, 2, 9. Now these are very mixed up, but we should be able to figure it out either way. So it's least or greatest to least. So what's the greatest number here? Obviously 9, so we're going to put a little 1. Now we're going to ignore it. Out of these 3, 6, 2, which one's the greatest? 6, obviously. So we're going to put a little 2, cross that out. Between 3 and 2, obviously 3. So we're going to put 3 for 3 and then 4. So now Now that we have our order, we can just simply write 9, 6, 3, 2. And that is our greatest to least. Let's try one more. Let's try number 5. So this one should not be any more trickier, so let's go for it. So which one is the biggest number? Obviously 33. Next one, 32. 21, 22. Which one is bigger? 22. And then 21. So now once again we have our order of 33, 32, 22, and 21. And lastly, we will be doing some word problems. Now, these word problems will involve multiplication, lots of multiplication. So let's try number 1. Fernando is buying several boxes of cookies for our birthday party. There are 6 cookies in each box. If Fernando brings 6 boxes to the party, how many cookies is he bringing? So let's underline the important factors. So, 6 cookies in each box. And how many boxes is he bringing? 6 boxes. And the essential question is, how many cookies is he bringing? Sorry. How many cookies is he bringing? Okay, perfect. So, he has 6 boxes, so you can definitely draw it out. 6 boxes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can draw a bunch of cookies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But let's do it easier on ourselves and just simply multiply. So how many boxes? 6 times how many cookies? 6. And what is 6 times 6? Simply 36 cookies. I hope that this all made sense, and thank you for listening.